Hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss regarding the Unit 2 of Rural Institution Planning and Development. The objectives of the session will be that at the end of the session the participants will be able to understand elements and requisite of planning at a different level, understanding components and process of district and block plan, be able to understand the preparation and steps in preparation of Gram Panchayat development plan. So, in this session, we will be discussing regarding the prerequisite for rural development planning, where two aspects will be covered. The first aspect that we will be covering is regarding the situation analysis, and the second aspect that we will be covering is regarding the resources. So first, let's discuss regarding the situation analysis. Situation analysis is a starting point for the developing strategies for the future. However, it helps for understanding the present. It is actually very important for any organization or institution for the better understanding of present situation and frame future target or goal. Meaning or need and method to conduct situation analysis will be discussed in that unit. Situation analysis is a process that is used to gain an understanding or insight into a present situation. In situation analysis, both factors will be evaluated, that is the internal and external factor will be analyzed. So here we will get a better chance of developing appropriate goals and objectives and also for designing activities that will further help to achieve them. The challenge here is to make logical explicit without spending too much time trying to develop a perfect model of reality. And the situation analysis involves an analysis of the key factors affecting targets including direct threats, indirect threat, opportunity and enabling condition. Each factor can be typically be linked to one or more stakeholders, those individuals, groups, or institutions that have an interest in or will be affected by the interventions. Problem identification, setting up of goals and objectives. So, we will be going in detail regarding what is a problem or how problem identification is and setting up of goals and objectives here. So before going in more into situation analysis, first let's discuss regarding what is a problem. A problem occurs when there is a difference between what should be and what is between the ideal and the actual situation. Identifying a very clearly defined and specific problem is the first crucial step to successfully implementing the problem solving process. The process of problem identification involves development of clear, straightforward problem statement that can be linked directly with specific goals and objectives already identified. So these statements should clarify how the problem might prevent to achievement of these goals and objectives. So now let's see how situation analysis is in the context of rural development planning. For instance, let's take the case of infrastructure. Let's see what all gaps that we can find that we can be identified with respect to the roads. List outing the habitations without road, length of extension road required, specifying whether repair, restoration, upgrade or new construction is required, etc. can be seen in this context. So in case of social, let's see one more example, that is in case of social development. The main issue based on people's perception and expert opinion could be listed down here. For example, the issues faced by the tribal community like alienation from land, land degradation, lack of skills, lack of employment opportunity and lack of access to public service and amenities can be listed and discussed. So how we will be conducting a situation analysis? For conducting a situation analysis, we will be going to primary and secondary data. We will be collecting them, analyzing them and will be documenting them. So what is a primary data? Primary data is of information that can be collected directly either through house-to-house survey, transit work, focus group discussion, social mapping, etc. So the main purpose of primary data collection is to get the first-hand information directly, to validate the secondary information that is available, to identify issues for local resolution and also to identify potential or opportunities, and also at last we will be promote and ensure people's participation. So what is a secondary data? Secondary data is the information that is already available either as a report or as a published data or found in registers. So inside the primary data, as we can see, there are participatory rural appraisal, focus group discussion, household survey and neighborhood survey, which are the tools used for this collection. And for secondary data collection, we will go behind census, even the departmental data that is available, etc. How will we start with the situation analysis? Here the following issues could be considered while conducting the situation analysis are: Formal letters containing information and date should be sent to all institutions within the panchayat for cooperation and participation. And orientation of committees, working groups involved in exercise need to be done. The Gram Panchayat committee along with the working group members should be finalized the areas to be included, formats to be used for the survey and appropriate PRA tools, that is a participatory rural appraisal tools to be used, and the secondary data that has to be analyzed. Here we also need to fix the date, time and venue for the PRA tools so that we will get enough participation. Public notice on conducting the situation analysis and also specific notices. Line departments should be informed about the situation analysis and the data collection dates. Division of responsibilities within the task force or work group for data collection. Environmental creation should be done for data collection, etc. The sectors for situation analysis. In addition to areas identified the areas identified by the state in the GPDP guidelines, and any other sector or identified by the Gram Panchayat may be taken for situation analysis. What are the steps involved for the situation analysis in Gram Panchayat level? There are 5 steps involved, namely data collection, after which we will be compiling the data, we will be analyzing the data, we will be comparing the data, and at last preparation of the draft development status report, that is the DSR. We will be going in detail with each of them. First, we will go to the data collection. As we know, there are 2 types of data collection, that is the primary data collection and the secondary data collection. So in the secondary data collection, the persons responsible for secondary data collection will be obtain data from local institutions, line departments, etc. And primary data collection, we can do it by using survey or PRA tools, which are transit work or social mapping and resource mapping, or we can go for focus group discussion. So let's now discuss regarding the data compilation. Here we will be compiling both the primary data and the secondary data in the prescribed format that has been provided by the state government. And when it come to data analysis, after all the data has been collected, now we will be analyzing in order to understand the present development status of the Gram Panchayat. Further, we will be comparing the data, that is the 4th step, data comparison. The situation of different sectors shall be analyzed by comparing with the national, state, district and local level data depending upon the availability. In such cases, tabulating the comparative data clearly indicates the status of the village on a particular indicator and how much it deviates from the macro level. So we can collect this status, we can classify into severe, moderate and adequate. And the last step in the situation analysis step is the preparation of the draft development status report, that is the DSR of the Gram Panchayat. Here the collected and analyzed data must be compiled and put in the report as the draft development status report. So these are the steps for the situation analysis in the Gram Panchayat. So as we can see, there are a few examples for the preparation of social and resource map, which are the PRA tools, that is the participatory rural appraisal tools used for the collection of primary data collection. So here it is a social map, as we can see. So now we will be discussing regarding the resource envelope for rural development planning. Financial resources, manpower resources, that is a human resource, and also the material are the 3 main resource envelope for rural development. Financial resources can be mobilized within the country through market borrowing. As regard to manpower requirement, this again has to be carefully planned and necessary arrangements should be made for the human resource development. That should be right from the grassroots level upwards to the higher technical level. And the third aspect of resource, that is the material required for enabling the development process to take place. Planning has been provided for availability of such resources, for example, oil, steel, cement, power, fertilizers, etc. So there are 4 dimensions of resources, namely stock and flow, mobility in space, grade of resources and renewal. So we will be going in detail on each of the dimensions. First, the stock and flow. So stock is a quantity of a resource existing at any point of time. Agricultural and forest land, a herd of cattle, and agricultural implementation refers to stock of representative resources existing at the time of counting, say as on March 31 of a particular year. The human use of the resources means that there is a drawing on the stock itself, as in the case of non-renewable resources like minerals, or there is a drawing of an output from the stock, as in case of renewable resources like fisheries, forestry, livestock, agricultural land, or underground water reservoirs. The second dimension is the mobility in space. Most natural resources have been specific location because their use by human beings has to be placed where they are found. When it comes to grades of resources, since the output flow from a stock of resources tend to decline with the degradation in quality, an essential planning task is to preserve, conserve, and improve the quality of resources. And the last dimension is the renewable. So in our everyday life, a continuous flow out of non-renewable stock, for example, mineral oils or oil wells, mean depletion of the stock and its eventual exhaustion is there. The process is irreversible. In the case of renewable stocks like pastures, forest, cattle, or livestock herd, in most cases the process is reversible in the sense that a period of depletion can be followed by a period of regeneration and rebuilding of stock. However, there is always an upper limit to the flow. So these are the 4 dimensions of resources. I hope the learning regarding the prerequisite of rural development planning was clear to all of you. Have a happy learning. Thank you.